The phone call came on a Tuesday morning while I was reviewing quarterly projections in my downtown office. "Ethan, it's your mother." Her voice had that particular tone, the one she used when delivering news she knew would sting but felt entirely justified in sharing. "I'm calling about Jessica's wedding next month." I set down my coffee. Jessica was my cousin, Dad's brother's daughter. We'd grown up together, spent summers at the lake house, built forts in the backyard. That was before the family decided I was the disappointment and she was the golden child. "The seating chart is getting complicated," Mom continued. "Jessica's marrying Marcus Wellington. His family is, well, they're very successful. Old money. His father runs a major hedge fund, and Marcus himself manages a $400 million portfolio." "That's great for Jessica," I said carefully. "Yes. Well." Mom paused. "Here's the thing, Ethan. Given your situation, we think it might be better if you didn't attend." I felt the familiar tightness in my chest, but I kept my voice neutral. "Why situation?" "You know what I mean. You're still doing that coding thing, living in that small apartment. Jessica's wedding is going to be very high profile. The Wellingtons are inviting senators, CEOs, major investors. Your father and I just think, well, with you showing up in whatever you'd wear, talking about computers or whatever it is you do, it would be awkward. For everyone." "Awkward," I repeated. "Don't take it personally. It's just that Jessica wants everything perfect and," she lowered her voice conspiratorially, "between you and me, she's a bit embarrassed about the family's varied success levels. You understand?" I understood perfectly. I understood that my family had written me off 5 years ago when I dropped out of business school to join a startup. I understood that they'd decided my choice to live modestly while building something meaningful meant I was a failure. I understood that they had no idea what I'd actually built. "Your father agrees with me," Mom added as if that settled everything. "It's for the best." I looked at the Bloomberg terminal on my secondary monitor, showing real-time data feeds that my company's software was processing. 63 institutional clients currently using our proprietary trading algorithms. Revenue projections for the year, $47 million. "Understood," I said quietly. "I'm glad you're being mature about this." Mom sounded relieved. "We'll tell Jessica you couldn't make it. Work obligation or something." "Sure," I said. "Work obligation." After she hung up, I sat in my corner office, 23rd floor, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the financial district, and wondered how long I could keep doing this. How long I could keep letting them believe I was exactly what they thought I was. My business partner, Raj, knocked on my open door. "You okay? You look like someone just kicked your dog." "Family stuff," I said. Raj had been my roommate in college back when we were both coding in our dorm room at 3 a.m., living on ramen and ambition. He'd been there when my father told me I was throwing my life away. He'd been there when my mother stopped returning my calls for 6 months after I left business school. "Let me guess," Raj said, settling into the chair across from my desk. "They still think you're broke? Not invited to my cousin's wedding. Apparently I'd embarrass her in front of her hedge fund manager fiancé." Raj laughed, but it wasn't unkind. "You know, most people would just tell their family the truth." "Hey Mom, hey Dad, remember that coding thing you mocked? Yeah, it's worth $280 million now." "I know. So why don't you?" I'd asked myself that question 1,000 times. Part of it was protection. When you have money, suddenly everyone needs something. But the deeper truth was more complicated. I wanted to know who my family really was. What they really valued. Whether they loved me or just the idea of a successful son. So far the answer was pretty clear. "The valuation closes next week," I said, changing the subject. "Series C funding. Goldman Sachs is leading. $280 million, Raj said, shaking his head. "Remember when we thought $10 million would change our lives? We were idiots. We were 23. Our company, FinTech Solutions, had started in my apartment 5 years ago. The idea was simple. Use machine learning to analyze trading patterns and predict market movements with unprecedented accuracy. What made us different was our approach to data synthesis. We developed algorithms that could process news, social media sentiment, economic indicators, and historical patterns simultaneously, generating trading recommendations in real time. The first year we made $180,000 in revenue. My parents thought I was barely scraping by. They didn't know that I'd plowed every penny back into development, hired 3 PhD mathematicians, and secured our first major institutional client, a boutique investment firm managing $2 billion in assets. Year 2, $4.3 million in revenue. My mother told relatives I was still figuring things out. My father stopped asking about my job entirely. Year 3, $18 million in revenue. We landed contracts with 6 major hedge funds. I bought a house, nothing ostentatious, a nice 3-bedroom in a good neighborhood, and my sister assumed I'd gone into debt. Ethan's probably underwater on that mortgage. I overheard her tell my cousin at Christmas. Trying to look successful. Year 4, $39 million in revenue. Forbes mentioned us in an article about emerging fintech companies. My mother called to ask if I'd seen it. Isn't it nice that they featured successful companies? Maybe you could try to work for one of them someday. I'd laughed. Then I'd gone back to work. By year 5, we had 63 institutional clients, including 4 of the top 10 hedge funds in the country. Our algorithms were processing over $50 billion in daily trading volume. We had 127 employees. Our office took up 3 floors of a Class A building in the financial district. And my family still thought I was a struggling coder living paycheck to paycheck. The Series C funding round was the final step before going public. Goldman Sachs had valued us at $280 million. The deal would close in a week and then it would be public knowledge. SEC filings, press releases, the works. But apparently that would be too late for Jessica's wedding. The wedding was scheduled for the last Saturday in April at the Fairmont Grand Hotel, a historic luxury property with a reputation for hosting society events. The reception alone reportedly cost $300,000. I wasn't invited, but I followed the preparations through my mother's increasingly frantic Facebook posts about centerpieces and seating charts. Jessica posted photos of her custom Vera Wang dress, her destination bachelorette party in Napa, her engagement ring, a flawless 4-carat diamond that Marcus had proposed with at some exclusive restaurant I'd actually eaten at twice. Marrying the love of my life, her posts gushed. Can't wait to start our future together. The comments were predictable. My aunt, you've done so well for yourself, sweetheart. My mother, such a beautiful couple. Marcus is so accomplished. My sister commented, at least one of our generation is successful. Face blowing a kiss. I closed Facebook and went back to work. The week before the wedding, our CFO Margaret Chin knocked on my door with a stack of papers. Final valuation documents. Goldman wants to announce Monday. Monday. That was 3 days after Jessica's wedding. They want to time it with the market. NYSE opening bell, maximum visibility. They're talking about CNBC coverage, Bloomberg, the whole 9 yards. I signed the documents. Sounds good. Ethan. Margaret had worked in finance for 25 years, had seen 3 IPOs and didn't mince words. Your family still doesn't know? Nope. That's going to be a hell of a surprise. Yep. He studied me for a moment. You could tell them now. Before it goes public. I could. But you're not going to. Nope. Margaret smiled. I respect that. They sound like assholes. They're my family, I said automatically, then paused. But yeah. They're also assholes. Saturday morning, the day of the wedding, I went to the office. We were finalizing the press release with Goldman's communications team. The announcement would go out Monday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern, timed perfectly for the market open. Raj found me at my desk at noon. Dude, it's Saturday. Also, isn't there a wedding you're not invited to happening right about now? Ceremony starts at 2, I said. Reception at 5. And you're here because I was uninvited. Remember? Right. The embarrassing cousin who codes for a living. Raj pulled up a chair. You know what we should do? We should crash that wedding. Show up in matching t-shirts that say, embarrassing coder. Net worth $280 million. Tempting. Or, and hear me out, we could just accidentally be at the Fairmont bar during the reception. Total coincidence. If we happen to run into your family, well, these things happen. I looked at him. You want to crash my cousin's wedding? I want to support you during a difficult family situation, Raj said innocently. From a nearby bar. Where we might be visible. Despite everything, I smiled. That's incredibly petty. I prefer strategically supportive. Goldman's announcement is Monday. They'll all know in 48 hours anyway. But you won't get to see their faces in real time, Raj pointed out. You're telling me you don't want to see your mother's expression when she realizes her embarrassing son is worth $250 million? I absolutely did want to see that. Which probably said something unflattering about my character, but I was only human. The Fairmont bar, I said slowly. Completely coincidentally. Wearing our best suits. Looking very successful. Making it very clear we belong in upscale establishments. Raj. Come on. You've been humble and gracious for 5 years. You've let them think the worst. Don't you want just 5 minutes where they have to confront the truth? I thought about my mother's voice on the phone. Your situation would be awkward. I thought about my sister's Facebook comment. At least one of our generation is successful. I thought about 5 years of condescension, dismissal, and assumptions. Hey, I said. Let's go to the Fairmont bar. The Fairmont Grand Hotel was exactly as pretentious as I'd expected. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, staff in formal attire. The bar was off the main lobby, elegant and dimly lit, with leather chairs and a view of the gardens where the ceremony was presumably happening. Raj and I settled at a corner table. I was wearing my Tom Ford suit, the one I'd bought for the Goldman Sachs pitch meeting, and Raj had gone with Armani. We looked, if I'm honest, like we belonged there. Scotch. Raj suggested. Seems appropriately wealthy. Macallan 25, I told the waiter. Raj raised an eyebrow. Showing off. Little bit. Through the bar's windows I could see the gardens. White chairs arranged in perfect rows, an arch covered in flowers that probably cost more than my first car. Guests in designer dresses and expensive suits. My family was out there somewhere, celebrating Jessica's perfect day with her perfect fiancé and his perfect hedge fund family. And I was in the bar drinking $400 scotch, waiting for Monday morning when everything would change. There's your mom, Raj said quietly. I followed his gaze. Mom was near the garden entrance, wearing a navy dress that I recognized from her special occasions collection. She was laughing with a woman in Chanel, probably Marcus's mother. My father stood nearby, looking uncomfortable in his tuxedo. They clean up nice, Raj observed. Still assholes, but well-dressed assholes. That's my family you're insulting. You literally just agreed they're assholes. Doesn't mean you get to say it. Raj grinned. Fair enough. The ceremony must have been starting because the garden was emptying, guests taking their seats. I saw my sister Amanda in a bridesmaid dress. My aunt and uncle. Cousins I hadn't seen in years. All there to celebrate Jessica's triumph. Marrying well, securing her future, doing everything right. Everything I hadn't done. You okay? Raj asked. Yeah, I said. Just thinking. About how much easier it would have been if they'd just believed in me. Raj was quiet for a moment. They didn't deserve to believe in you. You did it anyway. That's the whole point. Maybe he was right. Maybe their faith wouldn't have meant anything if I'd had it from the start. But it still would have been nice. The ceremony lasted 45 minutes. We watched from the bar as guests filed out of the gardens, heading toward the grand ballroom where the reception would be held. I caught glimpses of Jessica. Her Vera Wang dress was genuinely beautiful. And Marcus, who looked exactly like what he was. A confident man who'd never doubted he'd be successful. They're headed to the ballroom, Raj said. We could stay here. Safe distance. Or we could walk past the ballroom entrance. Stretch our legs. See if anyone notices. It was a terrible idea. It was petty and childish and exactly what I wanted to do. Let's stretch our legs, I said. The grand ballroom was at the end of a long corridor lined with mirrors and gilded fixtures. The doors were open and I could see the reception in full swing. Crystal chandeliers, tables with elaborate centerpieces, a band playing something elegant and expensive sounding. We walked slowly, two well-dressed men with drinks in hand, looking like we had every right to be there. Ethan. I turned. My sister Amanda was standing in the corridor, staring at me like I'd materialized out of thin air. Amanda. Hey. What are you? You weren't invited. She looked confused, then suspicious. Did you crash the wedding? We're at the hotel bar, I said calmly. We have a meeting here tomorrow. Just staying overnight. In your suit? On a Saturday. Business doesn't stop for weekends. I gestured to Raj. This is my business partner, Raj Patel. Raj, my sister Amanda. Raj shook her hand with perfect courtesy. Pleasure to meet you. Amanda was still processing. Business partner? What business? Tech, I said vaguely. Boring stuff. Mom said you weren't coming because... She stopped, clearly realizing how it would sound. Because I'd be embarrassing, I finished. Yeah, I got that message. That's not, Amanda flustered easily. It's just that Marcus's family is very prominent and Mom thought. It's fine, I interrupted. Really. Enjoy the wedding. I started to walk away but Amanda caught my arm. Ethan, wait. I'm sorry. That wasn't fair what Mom said. I looked at her genuinely surprised. Amanda and I hadn't been close in years, not since she'd sided with our parents about me dropping out of business school. Thanks, I said. I mean it. Your family. You should have been invited. Water under the bridge, I said. And I meant it. In 48 hours none of this would matter anyway. Amanda hesitated then hugged me quickly. I'm glad you're doing okay. Even if it's just, coding stuff. Yeah, I said. Just coding stuff. Raj and I retreated to the bar. That was unexpectedly wholesome, he observed. Amanda's not terrible. Just easily influenced. Unlike you who is completely immune to family pressure. I'm here at the hotel bar during a wedding I wasn't invited to, preparing to ambush my family with my net worth on Monday. I'm definitely not immune. Fair point. We ordered another round. Through the bar's entrance I could see the corridor leading to the ballroom. Guests moved back and forth, heading to the bathroom, stepping out for air, checking their phones. My mother passed by once but didn't look our direction. At 6:47 p.m., everything changed. The bar had a large flat-screen television mounted above the bottles, usually showing sports or news with the sound off. It had been on CNN all evening, closed captions running beneath images of politicians and international events. Then the screen changed. Breaking news. Fintech startup valued at $280 million. My photo filled the screen. It was from the Goldman Sachs pitch meeting. Professional headshot, confident smile, looking every inch the successful tech CEO. I froze. Raj said. Ethan. The closed captions were running. Goldman Sachs announces major investment in fintech solutions, a machine learning company revolutionizing trading algorithms. Founder and CEO Ethan Morrison, 28. Has built the company from a dorm room startup to a $280 million valuation in just 5 years. They announced early, I said stupidly. They announced early, Raj confirmed. During your cousin's wedding. On screen they were showing our office building, clips of Goldman Sachs executives, a graph of our revenue growth. Then back to my photo with text underneath. Ethan Morrison, FinTech Solutions, $280 million valuation. We need to go, I said standing up. But it was too late. My mother appeared in the bar entrance. She was staring at the television, her face slack with shock. Behind her, my father, my aunt, my uncle. More family members crowding the doorway. Then Amanda pushed through, looked at the screen, looked at me and said, "Holy shit." Language, Amanda, my mother said automatically, but she was still staring at the television. The bartender, bless him, turned up the volume. Remarkable success story, the CNN anchor was saying. Morrison dropped out of business school 5 years ago to pursue this venture, facing significant family opposition. Today, his company serves over 60 major financial institutions and processes more than $50 billion in daily trading volume. Ethan. My mother's voice was very small. Is that you? I looked at her, at my father, at all of them crowded in the doorway, staring between me and the television screen. Yeah, I said. That's me. But you said you were, we thought. My mother couldn't seem to finish a sentence. I know what you thought, I said quietly. On the television, Goldman Sachs calls it one of the most promising fintech investments of the decade. Morrison's algorithms have achieved a 94% accuracy rate in predicting market movements, leading to an estimated $12 billion in client returns over the past 3 years. My father found his voice. You're worth $280 million? The company is valued at $280 million, I corrected. I own 62% of it, so personally I'm worth about $174 million. Plus my real estate holdings and other investments, so closer to $190 million total. The silence was deafening. Your real estate holdings, my mother repeated faintly. 3 commercial properties, 2 residential. The house you thought I was underwater on. I paid cash. But you never said. You never asked, I said. You just assumed. More people were crowding the bar entrance now. I saw Jessica in her wedding dress, Marcus beside her, both staring at the television. The bride's bouquet hung forgotten in Jessica's hand. Oh my God, Jessica said. Ethan, you're the FinTech Solutions guy. You've heard of it? I asked. Marcus's firm uses your algorithms, she said, sounding dazed. We were just talking about FinTech Solutions last week. He said it was revolutionary. He said the founder was a genius. Marcus was staring at me with new recognition. You're Morrison? Holy shit. Your trading predictions saved us $40 million last quarter. Glad to hear it, I said. Jessica looked at her mother, my aunt. You didn't invite him because you thought he'd be embarrassing? We didn't know. My mother's voice was defensive now. How were we supposed to know? He never told us. I tried, I said, and my voice was harder than I'd intended. 5 years ago I told you I was building something important. You told me I was throwing my life away. You dropped out of business school. To build a business, I finished. Funny how that works. The CNN segment was ending, cutting to commercial, but the damage was done. Every person in that bar entrance had seen. Every wedding guest who'd been watching the news. The staff. The bartender who'd served us $400 scotch was looking at me with new respect. Ethan. My father stepped forward. Son. I think we need to talk. Do we? I asked. What's there to talk about? You didn't want me at the wedding because I'd embarrassed Jessica. Mission accomplished. I'm not at the wedding. I'm at the bar. You could have told us, my mother said, and she actually sounded hurt. All these years you let us think. Let you? I laughed and it came out bitter. Mom, I told you Forbes mentioned my company. You asked if they might hire me. I told you I bought a house. You said I was probably in debt. What exactly should I have said? By the way, I'm worth 9 figures. Please stop treating me like a failure. We never said you were a failure, my father protested. You didn't invite me to my own cousin's wedding because my situation would be awkward, I said. What would you call that? Jessica stepped forward, still clutching her bouquet. Ethan, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. If I'd known. You would have invited me? I asked gently. Or you would have wanted my business connections? She flushed. That's not fair. Isn't it? Marcus cleared his throat. Mr. Morrison, Ethan. I'd love to discuss your algorithms in more detail. Perhaps we could set up a meeting. Of course you would, Raj said from beside me. His voice was pleasant but cold. Now that you know what he's worth. The crowd in the doorway was growing. More wedding guests drawn by the commotion. I saw Marcus's parents, the woman in Chanel looking scandalized. Bridesmaids and groomsmen. Everyone staring. This was Jessica's moment. Her perfect wedding, her perfect day. And I was ruining it just by existing. I should go, I said, standing. Ethan, wait. My mother started. Congratulations on the wedding, Jessica, I interrupted. I hope you and Marcus are very happy together. I pulled out my wallet and dropped $500 bills on the bar. For our tab and the trouble. Raj and I walked toward the exit. The crowd parted for us, probably more out of shock than respect, but I'd take it. We were almost to the hotel's front entrance when I heard running footsteps behind us. Ethan, wait. I turned. Amanda was hurrying after us, her bridesmaid dress hiked up so she wouldn't trip. What? I asked more wearily than angrily. Amanda stopped, breathing hard. I needed to say, she gathered herself. I'm proud of you. I should have said it years ago, but I'm saying it now. I'm proud of you. Something in my chest loosened slightly. Thanks, Amanda. And I'm sorry. For not defending you. For going along with Mom and Dad. For all of it. Water under the bridge, I said again, and this time I meant it more. He hugged me tight and quick. Don't be a stranger, okay? Call me sometime. Let me actually know my brother. I will, I promised. She hurried back to the reception and Raj and I walked out into the evening air. "Well," Raj said once we were outside, "that went better than expected." I laughed. "It came out shaky but genuine." "Did it? You didn't flip any tables." "Very restrained." "I'm a professional." "A professional with $190 million who just crashed his cousin's wedding via CNN." "I didn't crash it. I was at the bar." "Very different," Raj agreed solemnly. We stood there for a moment watching valets bring cars around for early departing guests. The Fairmont's exterior was lit up against the darkening sky, elegant and imposing. "What now?" Raj asked. "Now." I checked my watch. "Now we go back to the office and prepare for Monday's press cycle. Goldman wants us on Bloomberg at 7 a.m. All business as usual. That's what pays for the $400 scotch." We started walking toward where we'd parked. Behind us, the Fairmont glittered with light and music and celebration. Jessica's perfect wedding, slightly less perfect now but still continuing. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. "We need to talk. This isn't over." I deleted it. Another buzz. My father. "Son, please call me." Deleted. "Amanda, that was insane. Also, you looked really good on CNN. Very CEO-ish." Smiling face with smiling eyes. I smiled and replied, "Thanks. Talk soon." Monday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern. Goldman Sachs issued the official press release. By 6:15 we were trending on Bloomberg, CNBC and the Wall Street Journal. By 7 a.m. Raj and I were in the Bloomberg studio, being interviewed about our meteoric rise and revolutionary algorithms. By 8 a.m. my phone had 43 missed calls from my mother. By 9 a.m. the Wall Street Journal had published a profile. The dropout who built a $250 million company while his family thought he was broke. Someone had talked to the press. I suspected it was one of Jessica's wedding guests. The story was too good not to share. The article included details about the wedding, the CNN reveal, my family's shock. It painted them in an unflattering light. My mother called again at 9:47. This time I answered. "Ethan." She sounded like she'd been crying. "Have you seen the Journal?" "I have. They made us sound terrible. Like we don't care about you." "Don't you?" I asked quietly. "Of course we do. You're our son." "I'm also the son you didn't invite to a family wedding because I'd be embarrassing." "We made a mistake," she said. "We didn't understand. If you'd just told us." "Mom." I cut her off. "I need you to really hear this. I tried to tell you. For 5 years I tried. You chose not to listen. You chose to see what you expected to see instead of asking questions or showing interest in my actual life." "That's not." "It is," I said firmly. "And here's the thing, I'm not angry anymore. I'm just done." "Done." Her voice went up. "What does that mean?" "It means I'm not going to keep trying to prove myself to people who've already decided who I am. It means if you want a relationship with me, it has to be because you actually value me, not because you just found out I'm wealthy. We've always valued you." "Then prove it," I said. "Show up for who I actually am, not who you wish I'd been. And if you can't do that, then we're better off keeping our distance." Silence on the other end. "I have to go," I said. "I have meetings all day." "Ethan, please." "Goodbye, Mom." I hung up. Raj looked up from his laptop. "How'd she take it?" "About as well as expected." "You okay?" I thought about it. About 5 years of dismissed effort, condescending comments and casual cruelty. About proving myself to people who should have believed in me from the start. About standing in that hotel bar watching my photo fill the CNN screen while my family stared in shock. "Yeah," I said. "I think I am." My phone buzzed again. This time it was Jessica. "Ethan, I'm so sorry. About everything. You deserve to be at my wedding. You deserve to be celebrated, not hidden away. I was shallow and cruel and I can't take it back, but I want you to know I'm sorry." I stared at the message for a long moment, then replied, "Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Congratulations again on your marriage." It wasn't forgiveness exactly, but it was a start. 3 months later, Forbes released their 30 under 30 list. I made the cover. The photo shoot was in our new headquarters. We'd expanded to 5 floors now with 200 employees and growing. They posed me in the server room, surrounded by the machines that ran our algorithms, processing billions of dollars in trades every day. How does it feel, the interviewer asked, to have built all this so young? Satisfying, I said honestly. But also lonely sometimes. Success is better when you have people who believed in you from the start. Did you? I thought about Raj coding beside me in our apartment at 3 a.m. I thought about Margaret, who'd left a comfortable corporate job to be our CFO when we could barely pay her. I thought about our first clients who took a chance on 2 kids with a crazy idea. Yeah, I said. I had some people. The Forbes issue came out in October. My mother called when she saw it. Ethan. The cover. You look so successful. Thanks. Your father and I were wondering, there's Thanksgiving next month. We'd really love it if you came. Would you? I asked. Or do you want me there because I'm successful now? That's not fair. Isn't it? She was quiet for a moment. You're right. That's fair. We've been terrible to you. We've been snobs and we've been shallow and we've treated you like an embarrassment when we should have been proud. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'd waited 5 years to hear those words. They should have felt better. Thank you, I said. So will you come? To Thanksgiving? I don't know, Mom. I need to think about it. Of course. Take your time. And Ethan. Yeah. I really am proud of you. Not because of the money or the Forbes cover or any of that. I'm proud because you did something you believed in even when everyone told you not to. That takes courage. I should have seen it sooner. Yeah, I said softly. You should have. I know. I'm sorry. After we hung up, I sat in my office for a long time looking out at the city. Success was supposed to feel triumphant, wasn't it? Vindication was supposed to be sweet. But mostly I just felt tired. Raj knocked on my door. You look contemplative. What's up? My mom invited me to Thanksgiving. And I don't know if I want to go. Raj settled into his usual chair. Do you want my advice? Always. Go, he said. Not because they deserve it but because you do. You spent 5 years proving yourself to them. Don't spend the next 5 punishing them. That's just another way of letting them define who you are. I looked at him. When did you get so wise? I've always been wise. You're just finally listening. Fair enough. I thought about it for another week. Then I called my mother back. I'll come to Thanksgiving, I said. On one condition. Anything. We don't talk about my company. We don't talk about money or success or valuations. If you want me there, it's because you want me there, Ethan, your son. Not Ethan, the CEO. Deal, she said immediately. Absolutely. Whatever you want. Okay then. I'll see you at Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was strange. My family tried too hard, complimenting everything I said, asking careful questions about my interests, treating me like I might shatter if they said the wrong thing. It was better than being dismissed, but it was still weird. Jessica and Marcus were there. She'd apologized 3 more times before dinner. Marcus asked if we could talk shop for just 5 minutes, and looked genuinely disappointed when I said no. Amanda was different. She asked about my apartment. I'd recently upgraded to a penthouse, but I didn't mention that. She asked about Raj, about my hobbies, about what I did for fun when I wasn't working. Honestly, I said, I don't know anymore. I've been working so hard for so long I kind of forgot how to do anything else. We should fix that, she said. I know a great pottery class. Very not tech-related. Pottery. You get to smash things when they don't turn out right. Very therapeutic. I laughed. Hey, yeah. Let's try pottery. After dinner, my father pulled me aside. Son, I need to say something. I braced myself. I was wrong, he said. About business school. About your startup. About all of it. I thought I knew what success looked like and I tried to force you into that mold. But you built something better than I ever imagined. And I'm proud of you. Not for the money, for having the guts to know yourself better than I knew you. It was the most honest thing he'd ever said to me. Thanks, Dad. I know I can't take back the things I said. The way I treated you. But if you'll let me, I'd like to try to do better. I'd like that too, I said. And I meant it. A year later, FinTech Solutions went public. IPO day, I stood on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, surrounded by our team, Raj, Margaret, our 200 employees who'd believed in the vision and worked themselves into exhaustion to make it real. The opening bell rang. Our stock symbol, FINGIS, flashed on the screens. Initial price, $42 per share. By end of day, $67 per share. Market cap, $1.2 billion. My personal net worth, $580 million. The champagne flowed. The celebration roared. Journalists crowded around, asking how it felt to be a billionaire before 30. I wasn't quite there yet, but close enough for headlines. And in the middle of it all, my phone buzzed. A text from my mother, watching on CNBC. So proud of you. Love you so much. Another from my father. Hi son, the CEO. Well done. Amanda, you're on TV and you look amazing. Also, I'm telling everyone you're my brother. Smiling face with smiling eyes. Even Jessica. This is incredible, Ethan. You've earned every bit of it. I stood there, surrounded by success I'd built myself, reading messages from people who'd once thought I'd never amount to anything. Raj appeared at my elbow with 2 glasses of champagne. To the kid who dropped out of business school, he said, raising his glass. To the kid who believed in him, I countered. We clinked glasses. Any regrets? Raj asked. I thought about the 5 years of silence, the missed family dinners, the weddings I wasn't invited to. I thought about proving myself to people who should have just believed. Some, I admitted. But I wouldn't change it. All of this, I did it my way. That matters. Even if it was lonely sometimes. Even then. We stood together, watching our stock price tick higher on the monitors, listening to our team celebrate around us. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a number I didn't recognize. Mr. Morrison, this is Marcus Wellington. I know you said you didn't want to talk shop, but I have to ask, any chance FinTech Solutions is looking for new board members? I laughed and deleted the message. Some things never changed, but I'd built something real, something valuable, something that was entirely mine. And that was worth more than any family approval, any wedding invitation, any validation they could have given me. I was exactly who I'd set out to be. And that, finally, was enough.